To really learn how to do this shortcut, you have to watch me do this in the video. The first step, as always, which I'm going to skip because we already did it, is to get the reactions. So if you don't get the reactions right, you can't get this right. But that reaction was 20, and that reaction is 16. I'm going to just assume you can get this right. What we're going to do is we're just going to do that X and Y component. But instead of drawing the free body diagrams down below and then coming back up here and putting the answers on the score sheet, I'm actually going to just draw the answers directly on the picture. But I'm still doing the method of joints, and I'm going to try and do them in the same order I did them before. Again, we started at joint A. There were two unknowns. And what I did was I said, 16 going up at A, that must mean there's 16 coming down, which means that's pushing in. It's a 3, 4, 5 triangle, so if the 4 side is 16, the 3 side is 12. And now you can see that 12, you're looking at joint A again, we're just looking at joint A, is going to the left. That means that this must be 12 going to the right. We just finished joint A, but I did it all on the picture, so I don't have to go from the free body diagram and then put it back on the scorecard. I'm doing everything on the scorecard, and in fact, I'm using a picture of the truss itself as my scorecard. The next thing we did, remember, was we flipped it over to the neighbors, and it's easier to see now. That's why I like doing it like this, okay? So there. And you don't have to redraw the numbers because it's right there on the member. Next, we went to joint E, and so now you're looking at joint E, and you can see, that's 16 going up, so that must be 16 coming down. That's 12 going to the right at joint E. I'm looking at joint E now, remember? So that must be 12 going to the left. Again, flip to your neighbors. Just go like that, like that. And then I think after we did E, we went down to joint B. So let's do joint B next. So now look at joint B. Now you got to look at it a little more carefully. Let's do the X and Y components of that. We had 16 going up, 12 going down. We need another 4 going down to make that add up to 0. And if that's 4, the X component's 3. And then we looked at the X component. We had 12 going to the left, 3 going to the left, so this thing right here had to be 15 going to the right. Now flip to the neighbors. That has to be like this. And the number is just right in the middle, so you don't have to recopy the number. It's already in there. Just make sure you get the direction right. That's going in to B, so it's also going in to F. Next we did C, so look at joint C, there we go. That's obviously 24 going up, and that's 15 going to the right. And again, flip to your neighbors, there we go, and there we go. And then finally we went over to joint D, and you go, 15 left, 15 right, 20 up, 20 down, that must be going like that. And then do that to the neighbor. And then finally we double checked that F at 12 to the right, 3 to the right, 15 to the left. That checked. Checking the Y components, 4 going up, 20 going up, 24 going down. That's all it takes to do that whole thing. And instead of using sheets and sheets of paper, all you do is you have this one picture. Now, you have to get it right because there's no steps for me to look at. But the reason I like this is you can see what's going on. For example, I can see that this 16 reaction is going up into this member and then coming back down in this member. Similarly here, I can see that 20 is going up, and it actually is coming back down with 24 because you have this extra 4 going up. This whole thing helps you see things. Another thing, it lets you see. You can see the actions. Like this is in compression. That's in compression. That's in compression, but these ones are in tension on the bottom. You can see what the truss is doing just by looking at these pictures, and it's easier to see what's happening by looking at the X and Y components right on this picture. The last thing I didn't do was do the T tension and compression, and also I didn't put in the Pythagoras theorem. So 12, 16, that's 3 times 4, 4, that's 5, that's 20, that's 5, and that's 25. And again, any arrow pushing into a joint will mean compression, compression, compression. Pulling away from the joint, tension, tension, tension. That's pulling. And finally, that diagonal is pushing, so that's in compression. There you go. This is how I always do my method of joints for trusses.